Hey everyone, welcome to another video. In this video I'm gonna be trying out a bunch of new Catrice makeup. Catrice updates their range twice a year, so they always update in the spring and then they also update in the fall, and then they get a bunch of new makeup and also skincare nowadays. And I basically bought everything that I thought was interesting, and I'm just gonna show you what I got and also applied to my face. So it's gonna be a bit of like a haul, but more like a try on style haul. So pretty excited to try these products out. Let's get right into this video. So if you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Marley and I love making YouTube videos about makeup and beauty. I love trying out new makeup. I love reviewing new things, but I also like to keep my collection a little bit curated, not spend too much on makeup, and of course trying out some drugstore makeup as well can kind of help with that. And I always try the new Catrice and Essence when they come out with their new stuff, because I just really love these brands. So if you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe. I usually upload about 3 videos a week and would love to see you again on my channel. So the first thing that I got, and that I actually already tried but can't really give you a verdict on just yet, is this Gradual Tan Serum Gradual Tan. I put this on twice now and I don't know if I really see a difference yet. It's hard to tell, but I'm gonna keep trying this. So this is a Gradual Self-Tan. It has a healthy glow. It says that it adapts to skin tone and it's DHA free. I don't know what that is, but this gives a sun-kissed look over time, so you have to apply it multiple times to really see the result. I applied it twice now and I'm just gonna keep trying it and see how I feel about it. I thought this was a pretty interesting product because I don't really like the idea of self-tanner that can really stain your skin, that can get really uneven, that really gets really tan right away. I'm a little bit scared of that. So I really like the idea of a product like this. So it comes in like a serum bottle like this. It says that you can apply it at night and then you can put a cream on top to have the result be more smooth. And it is vegan. It has no microplastic particles, no parabens, no mineral oil, and it's gluten-free, alcohol-free. The only thing that I saw on this ingredient list that I wasn't too happy about is that it has some perfume. It is the second to last ingredient, so it's only a little bit, but I'm not too happy with perfume because my experience with perfume is that it eventually will give me like a rash on my face. So I'm gonna keep trying it to see, but if I get a rash, then I probably will have to stop using this one. This one is only like €6.95 and I thought it was a really interesting product. I just wanted to try it out. I usually put an SPF 50 on my face daily, so my face is always a little bit less tan than the rest of my body. My arms get pretty tan, and then my face, I don't know if I can show you like this. My face is always a little bit less tan, so I thought maybe I can even things out a little bit with this. And then in the winter when I don't see that much sun, maybe it's also nice to kind of get a little bit of that sun-kissed glow without actually being in the sun. So pretty excited about this product, but I will have to update you after using it for maybe a week or something like that. I have to try it a little bit more to see that difference and to be able to tell you. I can tell you that it's a really nice consistency. It does go in the skin really fast. It's not greasy, it's not sticky. The scent is a little bit interesting, but it's not something that I mind. It's not like, oh, it smells nice. You can smell it, but it doesn't smell bad. It's just a bit of a weird scent. But so this is not one I'm gonna be applying now. It's already on my face and doing its job, and I just have to see what happens with this one. So the next thing I actually got is this Holiday Skin Serum Bronzer with coconut water, and this is a liquid serum bronzer for an after beach glow. with hydrating hyaluronic acid. You can apply it all over your face, but you can also use it alone under makeup or powder. You can also mix it into foundation or use it on top for bronzy highlights. And they only have one shade in this. I don't remember how much this cost. I believe it was like €5. I will put all the products in the description box. I will also link where I got them, and I will also tell you in the description box how much these were, because I don't know it from the top of my head and I just want to try them right now. So I actually expected this product to be like a bronzer, so a bronzer that you apply on certain parts of your face. I expected it to have quite a bit of pigment. I read it like it's a bronzer, but it has a bit of a serumy liquid texture. But I was a bit too curious and I already swatched this, and it's not pigmented. It doesn't have a lot of pigment. It blends out pretty fast. So I have a drop of it here, and let me see if I can kind of show you. So when you have it like this, you can see the pigment, but when you blend it out, it isn't that pigmented. It's just a little bit extra. It's just a little bit extra color, but it's quite subtle. It's not really a bronzer, like a liquid bronzer. It's more like a serum that has some bronzing pigments in there, instead of being a bronzer that has a serumy texture. So if you were a bit confused about this product like me, that is what it is. So I was expecting something a little bit different. I thought this wasn't gonna be what it is, but I think I'm just gonna apply it like all over the face and see how that looks. It might look crazy, but let's just try it. So I'm gonna grab my mirror. I think I'm just gonna apply a few drops and then just blend it out. I don't know what I'm doing. Just gonna take a brush and blend this out. Hopefully after this I will look like a bronze goddess and I will not look extremely weird or crazy. So what do you think? Do you see a difference? I do see a difference here in the mirror. I do see that I'm a bit more bronzy. Nothing extreme. It dries down really fast. I definitely can see that it took away some of the brightness that I get when I put on my SPF. I have a mineral SPF and that makes my skin a little bit lighter than it actually is. And I feel like this kind of counteracted that. You can't really blend it out later. Does it look crazy compared to my neck? Maybe I should put a little bit of this on my neck. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush. Kind of work this in. I do want it to look natural. I do want it to match. I feel like the effect is very subtle. It's not like super extremely glowy. My skin is naturally quite glowy. I feel like the glow I'm seeing now is just from my skin. It smells nice. It smells quite good. I don't mind the scent. Hard to say how I feel right away. I think it's subtle enough. It's not too crazy. I don't look crazy right now, I think, but it does look a little bit more bronzy. With these kinds of products, I always feel like I have to use them a few times and really see it in different types of lighting to really make up my mind, because it's so subtle. But so far I think I like it. It's quite nice. It looks quite nice. I like how my skin looks. But it definitely isn't bronzy. If you're like medium to deep, then you shouldn't go for this one. But that is something that Catrice tends to do. They tend to bring out one shade of something and not really cater to deeper skin tones or really fair skin tones. That is something they could really work on. So the next thing I want to try is this Catrice. Of course it's Catrice, this is a Catrice video. The Holiday Skin Luminous Bronzer with macadamia oil in there. And this bronzer is pretty light. This is a shade 010. I believe there's a shade 020 as well, but I didn't see it on the website just yet. I guess it's coming later, but I think this is still gonna bronze me, but it's not gonna be like a lot. It's quite a light shade. So if you're fair, then this looks pretty good. It also doesn't look too orange. It looks pretty like neutral, not too cool. The scent, The scent is quite nutty. It does smell like macadamia, I guess. It does smell like that. It's not my favorite, but it's also not terrible. Let's get into this bronzer. It's supposed to be luminous, but looking at it in the pan, it looks kind of matte. So let's see. I just zoomed in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. I'm just gonna take a little bit on my brush to begin with. And I have to keep in mind that the bronzer that I put all over my face, that might alter how these products that I'm gonna put on now look. Alright, that looks pretty. It's more like a satin finish. It looks very natural because it's so light, which sometimes I like. I sometimes really like building up a lighter bronzer because it gives quite a natural effect. It's not like an extreme bronze, but I do like how this looks. Just putting a bit on my forehead and on the other side. I feel like this blends out really easily. It doesn't look dry, doesn't look patchy, doesn't look crazy. A little bit on my chin. So it's really subtle. It is subtle. I think this is very good for fair skin. And maybe it's better for me in the winter. Maybe the other shade is a bit more suited to my skin. I'm not the fairest of fair. At least not in the summer. I do get a bit of a tan. I like this bronzer. I think it's nice. I think it blended well. I think it looks good. It looks natural. It has a nice sheen. I do think this time of year I would need one shade deeper. But it still bronzed me. It still looks good, but it's not like bam, bronzed. You look like a bronze goddess. It's not that type of bronzer on me. But I feel like I see it more here in the mirror than I see it in a viewfinder. I do like it. I think it's a nice shade, and I think especially for fair skin tones, this would be a nice one. Next, for the cheeks, I actually have two options. First up, I have this Blush Box Glowing Plus Multicolour new shade. I actually have never tried this line, these blushes from Catrice. They have been around for quite some time, but I just never picked one up. And this is a bit of a mix of peach, warm pink and a champagne tone. Let me just swatch this and see what happens. I feel like it's a bit of a glowy, peachy pink when you swatch everything together. That looks quite nice and glowy. It looks more glowy than I actually expected. You can see when I turn my hand that it definitely has this glowy effect to it. That looks nice. I don't know why I never really gravitated towards these blushes, but the effect, it looks good. I like it. And then the other option that I have for the cheeks is this Coral Lights Blush and Highlighter palette. So this is really new. Nothing they had before. And this palette has 2 highlighter shades and 4 blushes. Online, I couldn't really tell what kind of shades were in here. It was different when I saw it here, when I saw it in real life, I feel like, than what I saw online. So I was a bit unsure, but I was intrigued enough. Let me get off this plastic. So these are the shades without the plastic. They look like they could potentially be pretty powdery. When I look at this, I'm like, is this gonna work? I hope so. What I do like about this one is that it's really slim. I really like that aspect of the packaging. So let me swatch these highlighters. We have a light champagne one and more of a deep champagne one. So this is the lighter shade, this is the deeper shade. Doesn't look extremely creamy or shiny to me, but of course you can't always really say how something is gonna look from a swatch on your face. Sometimes blushes swatch so horribly, so we're just gonna try it out. Then let's swatch the actual blushes. Okay, so the placement of these blushes isn't the best, but we have a little bit of a corally shade, a light pink, a deeper pink and a bit of a terracotta shade. The first two look a little bit more shimmery, but they all have quite some shine to it. I think I'm gonna first apply this blush box to one cheek and kind of see how that looks. And then on the other cheek I will try one of the blushes from this palette. So let's see how glowy this can get. I do have confidence that this is gonna be nice because I have tried some very nice cheek products from Catrice. So it's not extremely glowy, but it does have a natural sheen to it. No shimmer whatsoever, definitely not. I like that blush, that looks nice. It's quite warm, not extremely pinky on the cheeks. It does have a little bit of a bronzy vibe to it. It does add to that bronzy sheen. Just adding a little bit more so you can definitely see what I mean. It has a very nice sheen. I like it. That is a good blush. This is a nice one. It blended out very easily. Didn't have to put any effort into that. Didn't have to really think about it. I could build it up. I like it. I really hope that this Coral Lights palette is gonna be good. I really hope so. Sometimes Catrice and Essence as well, they just do a certain type of packaging. When I see it, I'm always a bit like, ooh, is it gonna be more powdery? Sometimes you can kind of tell by the packaging, so I hope this is gonna be good. I think I'm gonna go into this lighter pink shade first. This is one of the glowy ones. I do have to say, these pans are on the small side. They are not too close together, but your blush brush shouldn't be too big. Okay, so this is definitely more powdery than the other blush I just tried. Let's see if this has the same amount of pigment and glow. This color is definitely more subtle. I see a difference. I do see a difference, but it's definitely lighter than that blush box. There's a bit of glow, but I don't know. I think I do like the blush box one better. I think I'm gonna go into that more terracotta shade in the palette. So I'm gonna go into this one and see how that one works on top. Maybe this one is a bit more pigmented and then we can really see the effect on the cheeks. I feel like this palette is a bit more subtle, but I do like the pigment that this darker shade has. It does have a glow. It does have quite a nice glow, but it's nothing extreme, nothing glittery. It's comparable, I feel, to the other shade, the blush box one that I tried, but I feel like the blush box one packs a little bit more punch. So if you like something a little bit more pigmented, then I would probably go with one of the blush box ones, or this particular one. I haven't tried the other ones, of course. Let's see if I can build it up a little bit to get it a little bit even, and just to see how impactful this can get. You know, it's different, but I like it. I like both sides. I do like it. Maybe it's also the lighting. Maybe this side is a little bit brighter. When I look at it here, this is just a little bit more soft, but it also has a glow without being glittery, and this also has that glow. These ones from the blush palette, they're just a little bit more soft, a little bit less pigmented, but you can build them up. You can get a quite blushy look. It's just that I'm comparing it now, and this one just has a bit more of that bronzy, somewhat deeper vibe. So now let's try the highlighters. I'm first gonna go into that somewhat deeper shade. Let's see if this can add some glow. I have a feeling this is gonna be quite subtle. Yeah, it's not bad, but it is subtle. It is. So it kind of depends on what you like. I don't think this is a highlighter I'm gonna fall like head over heels in love with, but it's nice to have in a palette, and it's not bad. It's just, it's nice, it's fine. It's a highlighter. Now I'm just gonna grab some of that lighter shade and put that on the other side to see if this is gonna be different, if this is gonna be more blinding or a different formula. Yeah, I definitely feel like this is a bit more bright. Formula looks pretty similar. I think on me, I like the deeper one just a little bit better. You do see that glow, right? Look at that. You do see it, but it is honestly, it is a bit subtle. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing extremely creamy, it's nothing that is gonna blow your mind. So it kind of depends on you. Do you want something a little bit subtle? Do you want something that is quite foolproof, you can't really go wrong? Then this might be for you. You know what? I'm actually pleasantly surprised. I actually like this more than I thought I would. It's nice. It's nice. I like it so far. Let me just blend everything together a little bit so I don't look totally crazy. Now let's move on to the eyes. For the eyes, I have two different things. First I have this 5 in a box mini eyeshadow palette, and this is in the shade Blue Smoky Look. I never tried these little eyeshadow palettes by Catrice. I did hear some pretty good stories about them, but before I thought the color stories weren't really interesting enough for me to try them. I felt like I would just be getting shades that I already had, and I was kind of waiting for the right palette to come along to sweep me off my feet and convince me to buy it. And I thought this was a pretty interesting color story. Kind of makes me think of the new Natasha Denona mini palette, as if Catrice kind of predicted that that was gonna come out. But this color story I do like even better than that one. We have the blue and it doesn't go as deep. We don't have a black in here. I don't really like wearing black. So yeah, I thought it would be interesting to try some of these grays, and I thought the blue shimmer looked very nice. So I'm just gonna do some swatches. So this is the first silvery shade. That swatch is pretty good. It's a bit on the sheer side, I feel. It's not like extremely opaque, but it can work a bit more as like a toppery soft shimmer. So the next shade is the light gray. This feels pretty creamy. That's quite nice in pigmentation for that type of shade. Next one is the gray shade that's a little bit deeper. Has a bit more of a blue undertone, I feel. Not the best swatching gray in the world, but of course it's a gray. They tend to be a bit harder to formulate. But especially with matte eyeshadows, that doesn't say everything. You can't really tell by swatching them that much. At least it doesn't feel like dry. Next we have the blue shimmer. This has quite a nice undertone, quite a cool tone blue. It's not the most impressive shimmer in the world, but it looks pretty nice. And then the last gray also feels pretty creamy. That's a nice swatch. That looks pretty pigmented. I feel like that can kind of amp up the look. We have some options here. We can make it a bit more smoky with that one. The other eyeshadow palette that I ordered is this Pro Slim eyeshadow palette, Natural Spirit. So Catrice has had these types of eyeshadow palettes in their collection for quite a bit. They've had different color stories. I feel like they've had this for a couple of years, but I never really felt like trying any of them because I didn't really love the color stories that they had, but I thought this one looked pretty interesting. This one has some warm tones, some cool tones. It has some greens, it has a peach, it has a burgundy. Let me show you from a little bit more up close. So I thought this was a pretty interesting color story, especially for the fall. I thought this looked pretty nice. But so I actually don't really know how people feel about these palettes. Do people like these? I have no idea. So I really want to try this one. I feel like this doesn't really get talked about, and I just want to try it and tell you what is going on with these palettes. And I will come back to all the stuff that I tried in this video. This is just a first impression. I will try them out a bit more and then let you know what I think in the end. So I will update you on all the products, on the Natural Tan, and I will also try this 5 in a box palette and let you know what I think about it. This palette looks so cute. I really hope, I so hope that it's gonna be a good formula. Catrice sometimes lets me down with their eyeshadows and sometimes they really do it so well. It can go either way. So let's try it and I really hope for the best. So I think I really want to try some of these greens. I see some different looks here. I'm pretty excited to try some different looks, but I think I'm gonna go with the greens first. And I think I'm just gonna put this shade down first in the crease, the shade Stone, to kind of have like a transition shade. I'm already wearing eye primer and I'm just gonna apply this in the crease. It looks kind of like a tan color, but it has a bit of a green undertone. That had quite a good amount of pigment and it blended really easily. No complaints here. I have tried Catrice eyeshadows before. I've had some eyeshadow palettes by them, but it's been a while because it was never their best thing. It was never the thing they were the best at, I felt like. This looks good. This looks really good. And by the way, my cheeks also looking really good in this lighting, they are like looking fine. Good looking cheeks. Alright, so for the next step, I don't really do olive looks, but I'm feeling inspired to try it now that I have it in this palette. So I'm gonna go with the shade called Olive. And that is a bit of a olivey army green, but it's quite cool toned. It doesn't have a lot of yellow in it. And let's see how this one is. And let's see if it doesn't blend together too much. I'm impressed. It's not the most green, it's a bit subtle, but that makes it possible to use it in kind of more soft, natural looks if you want to. Man, if these shimmers are also nice, I'm gonna be so happy. I really want this palette to work out for me. I feel like these shades blend really easily. It's not hard to blend them. It's like kind of effortless. I think you have to be a bit careful that you don't blend them away, but I like it so far. So now I'm gonna go into the shade called Attitude, and this is also a bit of an olivey shade, but it's not too extremely olive. It also has a little bit of a bronziness in there as well. It feels nice and creamy, and it looks nice and creamy. It is quite a basic shimmer, but it has pigment, it has shine, and it looks nice on the eye. I feel like this is gonna be a very fall appropriate look, and I'm feeling the fall vibes a little bit, although I'm looking pretty summery, like I'm wearing a really summery top, but I'm feeling it. So that's how the shimmer looks. I hope you can kind of see. It looks nice. I like the shimmer. I like how it looks. So for the next step, I'm gonna go into the shade called Hello, and it looks a little bit like a cool toned champagne almost. A little bit of a neutrally shade. I'm just gonna pop that on the inner third of my eyelid. That's a nice shade. It's a similar formula to that green shade, just quite creamy, not extremely creamy. It has shine to it. It's not like dull or anything, or too, how do you call it, too powdery. It's just a nice basic shimmer. On the bottom lash line, I first want to go into the shade called Origin, and then I'm gonna put the shade called Element on top to kind of see how those warmer tones work and kind of put that all in one look. It's always a bit hard to get lighter shades to show up on the lower lash line because I don't have any primer there. So I just put a bit of the peachy shade down, but you do see it. I do definitely see it. It does show up, so that's nice. Let's go into the shade called Element, and this is a bit of a burgundy tone. Just blending it together a little bit. Alright, that is looking pretty smoky. Usually I don't do my face first and then I kind of clean up under my eyes. And now that is gonna be a little bit difficult, so I'm just gonna have to live with this pretty smoky lower lash line. But I like the pigment of that shade together with that peachy shade. It doesn't get too like purpley burgundy, it's more of a warm red. So that kind of like mixes in together, but of course that's something that can be expected. Now for the inner corner, I'm going to go into the shade called Gold. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that on a pencil brush and pop that in the inner corner. I feel like my cheeks and my face is like summer, and then my eyes, they scream fall. Now I have two more things to test out, and I'm getting blush all over my top. Wait a second. Alright. Crisis averted. So I have two more things to test out. First up, I got this Lash Separator, and this is supposed to separate your lashes. When you're applying mascara, they're clumping together, it's still wet, you can use this. It looks kind of scary to me. I'm a bit scared to use it, but we're gonna try. Ah, nice. It has sort of like a cap that you can use to put on there, like this, to protect it and not have it get like really dirty. By the way, I saw that Essence is also coming out with a lash separator, but that is another type of design where you can, how do you call it? You can kind of like fold the lash separating part, like the pins, you can fold it so that it is like compact. So if you feel like you're gonna take something like this with you, maybe wait a little bit and check out the Essence one. I feel like that one might be a little bit more convenient, but whew, let's try this. I'm gonna try it first on my bare lashes to see how that would work. I'm terrified. Yeah, I'm gonna apply mascara and then I'm gonna separate my lashes with this and hope I don't poke my eye. So I'm just gonna use the mascara that I always use. This is the Clinique one. What's it called? The High Impact Mascara. I don't feel like my lashes need a lot of separating when I use this. It doesn't really clump up, but we're just gonna try it. Because sometimes it does happen that I feel like certain lashes are sticking together and I just don't know what to do about it. Let me see if this is gonna make a difference. I don't know if this does anything. Does this change anything? I feel like the lashes that are stuck together are still together. Let's add another coat of mascara. So this is what it looks like before. It's hard for you to see. I can imagine it's hard for you guys to see. Let's see. I see that there are lashes clumped together, but then when I brush it, nothing changes. Is it me? Is it this lash separator? What is going on here? I mean, there's a clump right here in the middle and I brush it and nothing happens. It's still a clump. Am I doing something wrong? Or does this just not work? Maybe it only works if it's like really, really clumpy. Because I feel like the lashes that are clumped together right now are still clumped together after I use this. It doesn't change anything with my lashes at least. Probably if my lashes were really, really clumped and I had like basically 4 lashes clumped together because everything was clumped together, I guess this might work. Or maybe it will work better with a more wet mascara, because this Clinique one, it's a pretty dry mascara. Let's try it one more time just to be sure. Did it do something? Did something happen? I see a clump, but I can't really get it apart. So I put on some lip liner, also did my eyebrows, and we're gonna try the last product that I got. The last thing that I got is this vegan collagen matte lipstick in the shade 010 Be Gorgeous. And this is a new lipstick line from Catrice. I feel like they're kind of focusing more on being vegan and having vegan options. So I guess that's why they're doing new kinds of lipsticks. I don't know what's happening to their other lipstick lines, if they are disappearing, if they are discontinuing them. I have no clue, but they have this new lipstick line and I thought I'd try it. This is kind of like a light peachy nude. I usually really like the Catrice lipsticks, so I'm expecting this one to be very nice as well. So this is a matte lipstick. Nowadays I usually am more into satin lipsticks. I hope it's not gonna be too drying. So let's apply this one. I don't feel like this one is drying at all. It was very smooth to apply. It feels very comfortable. It feels quite hydrating, but it looks matte. It's a nice one. It's a nice shade. I like it. It's quite light. So this is one that I would recommend if you like light lipsticks. And I personally think I can only wear this with a lip liner that adds a little bit of depth to it. Otherwise, I think it will look a little bit weird. But with the lip liner, I think this one looks nice. I do feel like it accentuates dryness on my lips a little bit, but I do have pretty dry lips and this is a pretty light lipstick. So I'm not gonna hate too much on it for that. But of course I have to wear it a little bit, see how it wears, see how I like it during the day. But I do like how this looks with this look. It's a nice shade. So this is the finished look. I've shown you everything I got. I put everything on my face. Well, not everything, but I tried a lot of it. So let's go over the products that I've tried and let me kind of tell you which ones I think are worth it and which ones are not. Of course, it's a first impression, so take this with a grain of salt. So let me see. This holiday skin, I do think my skin looks nice. I do think it looks nice and bronzy. It gives a little bit of a glow, I feel. Makes you look a little bit more bronzy, but it's a very subtle effect. So I have to try it a bit more. Can't really say a lot about it just yet. This bronzer, I really like how it looks. It's quite subtle. It's quite a light neutral bronzer. Definitely don't go for this one if you're deeper than me. At least that's what I think. I think then you'd better get the deeper shade of this one. I think that one will be better suited to more light to medium skin tones, but I really like the effect, really like how this looks. It's not like shiny. It says it's a luminous bronzer. I feel like it has a satin sheen. It looks nice. I like it. Then of course the 5 in a box, can't tell you a lot about it just yet, but did really like how this swatched. These mattes did feel very creamy. Did like how the shimmers looked. They weren't like extremely special, like the most shiny eyeshadows that I've ever seen, but I think this is gonna be good. I think this is gonna work out. I just have to do a look with it one time. I will let you know. Then this Natural Spirit eyeshadow palette, I was actually very pleasantly surprised. As you might have noticed, I really like the look that I did with it. Really liked these kind of subdued green shades. I feel like this is a palette that is very nice for just everyday, easy, on-the-go makeup. You don't want it to be too extremely pigmented, too difficult to work with. You don't want any special shimmers. You just want nice shimmers that are basic, straight to the point. I actually really liked working with this palette. I really enjoyed all the shades that I used. I'm pretty impressed with this formula. I'm pretty impressed with this quality. The only thing I do want to add is that I feel like you have to be a little bit careful when blending these, because you can blend them away. But I feel like if you're aware of that, if you want to build up the eyeshadows more and want more of that pigment, if you're aware of that, don't blend too much and you can still get quite an impactful look. I was kind of scared that this was gonna be bad, but this is way better than I expected. Then the blush that I tried, the Blush Box Glowing Multicolor Blush in the shade Warm Soul. I haven't even told you what it was. I really love how this side of my face looks. In the packaging, it looks like it could potentially be pretty powdery and matte, but it looks really great on the cheeks. Love how this looks. Then the Coral Lights Blush and Highlighter Palette. This isn't the best that I've ever tried. I definitely like this cheek better with that other blush, but it's nice. You can get a little bit of a subtle look, but I feel like I have to try it a little bit more because I want to know what is the difference here. Why do I like this side better? Is this a bit patchy? Is it just too lightly pigmented? Is it too powdery? I just want to know, but so far I like it. Don't know if it's gonna be like my new favorite. The blush box I like more. These two highlighters, I like this slightly deeper one more, how this looks on my skin, but that's also personal preference. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's good, but I definitely have to test it out a bit more before I can really tell you to go out and buy this one. Then the Lash Separator. I don't feel like this did anything for me. Maybe if you have a really wet, clumpy mascara, or if you have different lashes than me, maybe this would work. Maybe I just don't have the mascara and the lashes that are in need of a tool like this, but I just felt like these little like pins, they are too far apart to really separate all your lashes. If there's a clump, there's a big chance that it's not going to be separated by this. I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a gimmick, but I can't be completely sure just yet. And then of course the last thing I tried, and this lipstick, the Vegan Collagen Matte Lipstick. I quite like how it looks, I quite like the shade, I like how it feels. looks a little bit dry, but it's a light shade and I have dry lips right now. I'm gonna have to try it a little bit more, but I think this is not gonna be a problem that other shades, darker shades of this lip formula will have. Usually I don't really have any problems with Catrice lipsticks. I like them all. So I definitely like it. Don't know if it's perfect, but it can be the specific circumstances that we have right now with my lips being dry and this being a light shade. Definitely I'm gonna update you on this particular formula. And of course the natural tan, I already told you what I thought. I'm gonna update you. This is gonna be something I can tell you about later. So that's gonna be everything for my Catrice haul. That's gonna be everything for the new makeup for now. I'm gonna be trying this out, doing a roundup review. I always update on the new makeup that I've tried to tell you what I think about the makeup after I've used it a couple of times. So if you want to see that, keep an eye on this channel. So that's gonna be everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. And of course, let me know in the comments which of these products you are most excited for. I always love to hear from you. And then I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!